Hello and welcome back everyone to this live demo session on ABAP on HANA cum S4HANA Technical Training for developers and technical architects. In this training, we are going to learn about core capabilities of ABAP on HANA development along with end-to-end S4HANA development with new programming paradigm including different frameworks of S4HANA. This training is designed for technical consultants and SAP enthusiasts to work on the new architecture of ABAP on HANA. So let's get started with this demo session. What is going to be our agenda for this demo today? We will understand first our developer persona, understand who is this training for. We'll talk about the overview of this training, some of the key highlights, and then we will discuss our demo use case with a live demo in the system and some of the frequently asked questions by you. In this live demo session, I'm also going to demonstrate a full-fledged embedded analytics application built on S4HANA system. So let's first understand our developer persona. So when it comes to working with S4HANA or ABAP on HANA, who is this training relevant for? So if you are an ABAP consultant and willing to embrace the change in technology, you are bored of core ABAP and wanted to switch more attractive career options with S4HANA, this training is definitely going to suit you. You want to learn how to optimize and run your existing ABAP application with performance boosters on HANA, this training is going to be best fit. If you are a BW consultant and willing to learn how to build CDS views and create analytics on top of these CDS views with Intelligent Suite and OLAP tools, this training is going to help you. If you are a Scrum lead who is going to lead a S4HANA team in coming future based on HANA-based developments, so if you're willing to estimate and understand the overview of S4 and the technical capabilities, then this training is also going to suit you. Or you are any SAP consultant who would like to build new dimension application using Fiori user interface and these new concepts like CDS views to exploit full potential of SAP HANA computational power, this training is going to definitely increase your resume's weightage. So let's understand some of the key highlights of this training. This training includes everything what you need to know on ABAP on HANA, including the tooling, services, features, capabilities, and development skills, of course. It's a developer course. It's a course which is for the technical people willing to learn S4HANA and ABAP on HANA. We will learn about evolution of SAP NetWeaver layer, including new ABAP syntax, new SQL syntax, and understand different frameworks like BOPF, integrated data access, and fuzzy search. We will see how to understand SAP HANA and its architecture. Anyone who is coming with zero knowledge on HANA can also attend this training because this training includes the basics of HANA, its architecture, how ABAP meets HANA, and the development tools like Business Application Studio, ABAP Development Tool, Web IDE, and HANA Studio. So all the tooling will also be part of this training. If you want to become a S4HANA technical consultant and seeing how can your company migrate to S4HANA, so you would have to have some knowledge, basic knowledge on code conversions, as well as new concepts like CDS VDM in S4HANA, including how can you move your custom code to S4HANA system with tooling and code conversion checks, then this course also suits you. If you're willing to learn complete CDS view development, including AMDP and Odata services with latest tooling, this course is also going to help you to build beautiful, amazing applications based out of CDS and annotations. And that's what also will be our use case for today. So India announced the biggest world vaccination drive, and we are having a lot of states planning their vaccination with full throttle and speed. We are now going to help Government of India to design a beautiful dashboard where we wanted to show the state-wise vaccination program and their progress. So I would like to know in each of the state how many dose 1 and dose 2 has been given, including the total vaccinations which has been provided to the citizens of the country. We would then also build a small chart to showcase a brief analytics about top 5 states which has got their vaccinations in terms of number of people who has been given the jabs. So this is our requirement for today. And in order to fulfill this requirement, I have created a custom database table in my S4 system. We will build a CDS view on top, expose the data through Odata service, and then eventually build a analytic list page application in Business Application Studio. This is a demo session, so don't be so overwhelmed if you find out to follow through little difficulty, because I'm not going to cover any basics here. I'm just going to give you an idea about what kind of capabilities S4 offers and how the future application development would look like for you. So maybe you may not understand even 1% of today's session, but at least if the use case is clear, you will be able to enjoy the show, and at the end, you will be able to build these kind of applications. So let's understand, first of all, what will be CDS views, or what is a CDS view, and what is the basic of OData service. To develop this application, we're going to following approach. We'll start our ABAP development tool on Eclipse. We will create a CDS view in S4HANA. We will annotate CDS view with extra bit of stuff so that it can supply data to Fiori apps. We will expose the data to the browser using Odata service, and finally consume that in a analytic list page report, which is part of pillar of embedded analytics. This will be the 5-step process. But before that, before we start creating stuff in the system, a brief introduction of what is CDS view and what is OData. So let's understand what is CDS view and what is OData services. So a CDS view stands for Core Data and Service. CDS stands for Core Data and Services. Which is used to expose data out of S4 system for multiple use cases like analytics, transactional Fiori applications. Yes, these are some of the main use cases, or API to create an interface to your S4HANA system. CDS views are powered by annotations, which are denoted using @ symbol, which makes these models rich in semantics. So sometimes people say CDS views are semantically rich data model. In the classical SE11 views, you cannot add annotations, and this is where the CDS view comes into picture. Plus, the most important advantage of CDS views, they take advantage of SAP HANA database, so that the logic is executed more and more in database, and eventually the result is produced to the front end to the user. This is one biggest advantage of CDS views. So typically when you do applications, you will have your database tables. In the past, we used to write a lot of ABAP SQL code to expose the data out to your application. But now on these database table, we will build a CDS view. But all the modern applications are built using SAP Fiori user interface. Hence, we need to now expose this data virtually to a browser-based application where Fiori apps runs. So they run on the browser. Now, as you know, we can't directly expose a BAPI or a function module or a program include or CDS view to the Fiori application because it's running on a browser. We need to expose it as a service. Fiori can only talk to a service, and hence we need to add a service in the middle which works as a true interface between our Fiori app to exchange the data with the CDS. So this is what is absolutely necessary. And that's where our next component of Odata comes into picture. So Odata, what is Odata? Odata stands for Open Data Protocol, used to create REST-based services and helps you to expose the data outside your ERP system in this case, and so that we can consume this on a Fiori application. So used to create REST-based services. So this is what we will use Odata service for. And you will see it's very simple to create an Odata service using CDS views and eventually exposing the data. So as part of this journey, we will start now first building our CDS view on our existing table, which is storing the vaccination data of India. And then on top, we build a OData, and then finally build a Fiori app. Now comes to the tooling. So when you want to build them, you need tooling. Like you want to build a dialog program, you need SAP GUI. On the same fashion, on the same way, you need tooling. So to build a CDS view, we use Eclipse tool. In this Eclipse tool, we already configured a ABAP development tool on Eclipse. This is something which I'm going to cover in session number 1 when we start this training from tomorrow. I will cover the setup and installation of ABAP development tool in your computer. Remember, this course is designed for an absolute beginner on ABAP on HANA. There is no prerequisite for this training. You don't need to know any tooling or any HANA in advance. All of it I will cover in the training. As it's a demo session, I truly believe to showcase an end-to-end scenario in the demo. That's why I've taken a complex use case for the demo itself, so you get a feel of real time. Then the next part, what I will do is I need to build a Fiori app, for which we'll use another tool called Business Application Studio, so-called BAS. I will use the BAS tool to create a embedded analytic list page application step by step. So let's start our first tool, ABAP development tool on Eclipse. I will cover installation and setup and subscription of these tools all step by step in coming classes. This is just a demo. I will switch over now back to my tool, which is already running here. And now I will just go back to my local objects to create a new CDS view. So let's create a new CDS view. I will just right click on coded and services, and then I will create a new data definition. Let's give a CDS view name Z July vaccination data of India, and I'll say next, and now I can create a CDS view entity. CDS view entity is a new concept. We're going to learn about it, and we'll also learn how CDS view entities are different from CDS views in our chapter number 12. Yes, right now just understand we're creating our first CDS view. I'll finish. It will generate a skeleton, and as I told you before, these are all called annotations. These annotations have special meanings. What it means here in this case, this is a annotation which tells the sizing category, hence gives you and guarantees a performance guideline for CDS to return the data. We have include propagated annotations. We have then the label of the CDS. We have some checks related to authorization. Right now, they will have no impact as such because we have not created any role, or we will not create in this session any role or anything. And then we have the enhancement category for the view. Now I will use an existing database table which I prepared before the session. It's a custom table ZATS underscore vaccine India, and it has all the vaccination data of India per state. So we have a state property, then we have dose 1, dose 2, and total vaccination by far in that state. Yes, I will save this now and I will activate. It's so simple, just like writing a select. Yes, and now when I run, it should produce all the states, the dose 1, dose 2, and total vaccination data for each of the state. So that's a very simple one. How can I now build an application to expose this data in Fiori app? So first thing first, we can't directly consume this in a Fiori app running in browser. We need to expose this as a OData service. So for that, we use an annotation called odata.publish, which eventually publish this CDS view as a service. And that service can be then used in a Fiori application running in a browser. So now you can see it has generated a OData service. The name of the service is this. I can copy the name. So service is created, but service is not registered. You have to now go ahead and register the service. It's a one-time job. So for that, I'll press Control 6. Don't worry, all of this tooling, including introduction of each and every aspect, we will cover in our respective chapters, which are going to come along. I'll go to a transaction called IWFND main service, where I'm going to register this OData service. So if you go back to my slide, we created a CDS view. Step 2, we are creating our OData. And step 3, then we'll create a Fiori app. I'll come back, I'll add a service. Just like in classical ABAP, we first build always a database table, then we build select query, we fill our internal table, then we build an ALV, and then we show data in a ELV to the user. Same fashion, you build a CDS, you build a OData, which expose the data to the browser, and then you build a Fiori app. I select this and add the service. It's a one-time activity. Done. It's registered. And now it's time to copy the service name to build the Fiori app. So if we go back and see, to build a Fiori app, we need Business Application Studio tool. I will switch over back to my browser where my Fiori app is already, where I can build a Fiori app now directly on this Business Application Studio tool. I will cover about Business Application Studio in chapter number 10 and 11 more in details. There you will understand more about, how the Business Application Studio can be started, how do you build a Fiori application on Bash without any prior knowledge of Fiori. Okay, so let us go ahead and build an app. So this is your tool, and we go to View, Find Command, and choose Open Application Generator for Fiori. And here we will choose a type of application which I want to build. So my goal is to build an analytic list page. Select that. Next. Then we have data source and service selection. So I will now choose my service. So I've already created a connection to my SAP system. This we will cover in chapter number 9 in our training, how to set up BAS and how to create a connection to your S4HANA on-premise system. We will cover this topic in chapter number 9. For now, before the class, before the demo, I've already created the connection. If I go back and search, I can find now my service. I select my service, which I've just created out of my CDS view. And you see, I got next. You can now go ahead and choose the table type as grid. And I can say next again. Now we will give a project name. So we can say Analytic India. And then I will put here a title, Vaccination Progress Dashboard. Let's click on Finish. Okay, the name cannot be in capital letter. It should be small always. Yes, that's a rule. And now I say Finish. That's all. Congratulations. In last 30 minutes, you're successfully able to build an end-to-end Fiori applications. So I've got Analytics India. I can right click now and say Preview Application. That's all I got to do to start this application on my tool Business Application Studio. Let's do that. Start please. And now you see it's starting our application. There you go. It's going to show you a very empty page. Of course, we didn't add any much capabilities in our CDS. Hence, it's going to show a very rudimentary application without any filters, without any chart, and without any table. So now as a developer or as a user has to manually go in and include the columns which they would willing to see in the table. Yes, here You see now user has to manually add all this stuff. Yes, because there was nothing added. And then user has to click go button, and you can see it should show the data in the table. Yes, but what you observe, there is no charting, there are no filters. Yes, there is nothing of that sort. But what kind of application we wanted? Our goal was to build a chart, which is a donut chart showing top 5 states in their vaccinations, and then automatically it should populate table with the state name, dose 1, dose 2, and total vaccinations. So this is our goal. But when users start application, it's not coming up. So that's where the annotation comes into picture. We come back to CDS view, and the very first thing we add is a chart annotation. So I will add a chart annotation, UI.chart, and I will say, hey, I wanted to show a chart type as donut chart. So let's add a donut chart, hashtag donut. Yes, that's my chart type. Now, in the childhood days, when we learn mathematics, we always know that in order to build a chart, we have two things. We have x-axis and we have y-axis. X-axis is also known as category axis. Yes, this is where we put all our dimensions. Dimensions are like your values, like for example, country, product, city, currency, all those are your dimensions. So you will, for example, put here state. So what's your state? Let's say Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Telangana. Then you may be putting Andhra Pradesh. Yes. So all the states you will be putting Delhi. Yes. This is my category or dimensions. On y-axis, you will put numeric values. These numeric values are called measures, also known as hashtag axis1. Sometimes you have multitude charts where you can have multiple axes, but right now let's say y-axis is the only one I have. Yes. So here you'll put numbers, let's say 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, and so on. And then you will draw charts like this. Yes. This is how we build charts in maths. The same applies here on the annotation. So we have to provide all these details like my dimensions, my categories, my measures, and my axis. So all of this I'm going to provide now here step by step, and control space is going to help us. So first we'll give our dimensions, all the list of dimensions which I have. So dimension is my state. I want to show state-wise doses or state-wise jabs injected. So I put my dimensions and dimension attribute. So my dimension is only one. Control space is the key which you use to fulfill the auto code completion. And then you choose here, let's say role as category. Nice. Now it's time to give measure, the y-axis. So my measure is here total vaccination doses. That's my measure. And I will say, where should this measure be projected? The measure should be projected on total vaccination doses, and it should be on as a data point because it's a measure, and it should be projected on my axis 1. So I will just put comma, control space, the role is axis 1. So guys, to reach to this level itself, it took us about 6 to 7 lectures. As it's a demo, I don't want to overwhelm you, but I just wanted to sensitize you that what kind of applications we will be building throughout the training. But maybe some of you not able to digest this. It's very difficult for you to digest today because this is a little, advanced stuff which I'm showing you in the demo itself, so that you get an idea of what kind of things we are going to build in this training. So now we're good with this chart annotation. I will just also provide a title just on a safer side. Let's say vaccines by state, and we're good. Let me save this change, reactivate my view. You don't have to do anything, switch over back and just refresh. Last time you observed there was no chart here, and now watch out, just refresh my Fiori application, and you will see in few seconds a donut chart should appear with state-wise total vaccinations which is being carried out. I click go button, and Voila, you can see I got a chart. It shows all the states here. Yes, but my requirement was not to show all states. My requirement was to show top 5 states. No problem. We can go back and add additional annotation, add the rate UI presentation variant. So this is what we will be learning throughout this course. A lot of these annotations, how to use them, yeah, how to do group by, how to do arrangement. Yeah, I want to show only 5. Yes, only 5 of the states, and I would like to use these states by doing a sorting of them. So I sort them by, let's say, my total vaccination doses in descending order. So comma, direction is descending, and I will save it. Nice. Let's go back and activate. So watch out the impact of this annotation which we just added. You will see the earlier all the states, but eventually now when you run, instead of all the states, system should show us only the top 5 states. So earlier it was showing all states. My requirement from the business side was to show only the top 5 states in terms of the vaccination. So we just refresh the app, click the go button, and voila, you can see Maharashtra, UP, Gujarat, and Rajasthan and Karnataka has got highest number of vaccinations by far done in this time. Yes, nice. At the same time, I want to now fill also my table. You see, it always gives me a message that table has no columns. Yes, so I don't want user to every time go and click settings to add columns. I can switch over back and add here some annotations. So I will add the rate UI line item, first position 1. So this is my first column. I want this as my second column. I want those two as my third column. And I finally want total vaccination as my fourth column. Nice. I'll save it and activate. And now you will see my table will be pre-filled with additional columns on the screen. So let's refresh out there. And we should now see 4 columns should appear on our table by default in the default result on the screen. So if you go back, hit the go button, you can see here's my table. Voila, my table has got all the 4 columns showing all the line item data, and on the top you can see top 5 states. The beauty here is if you click, let's say, one of the state, for example, Maharashtra, it will filter the data in the table also automatically for us. Yes, that's the beauty of this capability, what we get here out of the box. So these are the kind of things which we can really do. We can switch to only the chart types. We can change the chart types. For example, I wanted to see a bar chart or a column chart. You can just see different chart types to choose from here in the system. Yes, it's possible. You can just hide the table, just show only the table, just show only chart and table together. There are different settings you can do. You can also control further the sorting, yes, filtering, searching. All of this is fully controllable. So this is about our analytic list page application, which we built on CDS. So with that, let's move on quickly to some of the most frequently asked questions by most of you in terms of this training. What is this training is all about? So first of all, do I need to have any prior knowledge on SAP HANA? Answer is no. We will cover the HANA foundation in this course for you guys. There is no prerequisite. How much ABAP knowledge is required to learn ABAP on HANA? So the topic wise, only data dictionary, internal table, basic syntax and function module is what you need to basically learn ABAP on HANA. If that too again required only for 30% of this training. So only 30% of this course requires the knowledge on ABAP. Rest all the topics are absolutely new, even for an ABAP developer. Yes. I'm a BW cum BI consultant. Can I also learn ABAP on HANA? Yes, and you must, because a lot of BW systems are now getting combined, and eventually companies are going as a single installation of S4, and that's where you have analytical capabilities for S4HANA embedded analytics with CDS views, which is a very important topic for a BW and a BI consultant. We will also cover Analytics Cloud integration in this training, how to consume your CDS view results in SAP Analytics Cloud. How much deep knowledge of OOPS ABAP is required? Basics of class, interface, and object, if you know, that's more than enough. What about server access? So we can arrange a server for you if you don't have a server in your company, but we would strongly recommend to use server from your company. We have a session number 3 where I will talk about what is that you need to look upon inside your company server to be able to use your company server directly as part of the learning process, because we will include a lot of case studies and very, very strong scenarios, end-to-end scenarios as part of this training. So it's extremely important that you have an idea and a clue about the server. So we will cover this dedicatedly in chapter number 3. Okay, so moving next, about which version of S4HANA are we going to use? We will use latest 2021 with HANA 2.0 and ABAP layer. That's what we are going to use as a server for our training. How of this course, how much of the time we spend on CDS? Some of you joining this course only to learn CDS part, 40% to 50% of this course, around that, we will spend time on CDS views. That's the majority of it. You saw already in the demo, it was primarily focusing on the CDS and annotation concept. Do I need prior knowledge on Odata service? No, we will provide you complimentary session in Odata service. We will do that, yes. So no need to have a prior knowledge on Odata. Can I also take this course in video mode as timing doesn't suit me? Yes, you can. You can start this training completely in video mode. After every class, we will also share the video of the class. So if you missed out something in a class, you can watch the video to recall the concepts covered in that session. Or you can go with pure video mode training as well. What tools I need to practice for this course? ADT, ABAP Development Tool and Eclipse, which we use today. We will cover the installation of ADT in next class. As I mentioned, it's designed for a fresher ABAP developer or a fresher BW developer or somebody who is new to ABAP on HANA world. We will cover all the tooling. It's part of this training, including WebID and PAS tool. Both we will cover in this course, so you will become an expert on ABAP on HANA. With that, it's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe this channel and this video with your colleagues and friends, because sharing is caring. Always keep the dream alive, and I hope to see you in the next class. Thank you so much. See you and goodbye. At this point of time, you can click the link into the description to join our live question and answer session now.